Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you own a home in Florida or you're trying to buy a home in Florida, everything just changed. And I mean quietly, surgically, and in a way that most people still have not caught on to yet. Now, for years, homeowners, they have been squeezed from every direction. HOAs acting like mini governments, property taxes climbing so fast that they felt like a second mortgage, insurance premiums exploding while insurers blamed the market and then walked away. And through all of it, regular families were told to just sit down, shut up, and pay. Well, that era is ending, folks, because buried beneath the noise, Florida just unleashed a wave of new laws that don't just nibble around the edges, they actually flip the power structure. HOAs are losing teeth, property taxes are suddenly on the chopping block, and the insurance chaos that nearly collapsed the system is finally being forced back into line. Guys, good news is this is not theory. These laws are already hitting. Some are in effect right now. Others are barreling toward 2026. And if you're not paying attention, you're either going to miss the massive relief that's coming or you're going to get blindsided by the changes. So what you're about to hear explains why HOAs are panicking, why local governments are scrambling, and why homeowners, for the first time in a very long time, are actually winning. So stick with me, guys, because once you see how all of this connects, you're going to understand exactly why these new Florida laws aren't just good news. This is a full-blown homeowner revolt. Now, here's what most people still don't understand. Now, Florida didn't make a few polite adjustments. No, Florida didn't study the issue. It didn't kick the can down the road. Florida rewrote the homeowner rule book. So in the last 18 months alone, more homeowner-focused laws were passed than in any previous decade combined. Now, think about that. That's not an accident. That is pressure that's finally breaking through. And while the headlines were focused elsewhere, these laws, they started stacking fast, dense, and with deadlines. If you miss one filing window, one disclosure rule, one exemption opportunity, you don't just lose convenience, you lose real money. Thousands of dollars in taxes, insurance protections, legal leverage that you don't even know that you had, and the speed matters. These changes aren't theoretical. Some are already active, others are racing toward 2026 ballots and legislative deadlines. Now, this is not about future planning. This is about whether homeowners adapt in time or they get steamrolled by a system that just shifted underneath them. And the first domino to fall, the HOA power structure. So for years, HOAs operated like some untouchable micro governments, right? Drop a yes if you know what I'm saying. They find you first, then they explain why they find you later. Oh, your grass was a quarter of an inch a little bit too tall. And usually they sided with themselves. That moral high ground is gone. So these new laws do not abolish HOAs, and that's important to say cleanly. This is not an anti-HOA crusade. It's really not. This is about restoring proportional authority to the people actually paying the mortgage, the taxes, and the assessments. Now, Florida lawmakers, they finally acknowledge something that homeowners have known forever. Enforcement without accountability becomes abuse. So the rules changed, not loudly, but decisively. HOAs are now being boxed back into their lane. They're being forced to justify decisions. They're being limited in how far they can reach into your daily lives, which is a very good thing. Can I get an amen for that? And now, here's why this really matters. Once the state signals that HOA power has limits, everything downstream changes. Enforcement slows down, boards get a little bit more cautious, arbitrary punishment stops being, well, this is just how it is. No more of that nonsense. That's not chaos. That's balance returning. So this is where homeowners stop theorizing about power shifts and they start feeling them. Because Florida didn't go after HOAs with one big swing. It actually went after them with precision cuts. First, trash cans. I know it sounds small, right? But it's not. Homeowners can now no longer be fined for putting bins out within 24 hours before or after pickup. Now that one change alone kills one of the most abused enforcement tools that HOAs used against working families. Then holiday decorations. No more instant violation notices. HOAs must now give written notice and wait before fines kick in. That little gotcha culture, gone. Pickup truck bans, overturned. Interior modifications not visible from the outside, off limits entirely. Each rule by itself, it feels modest, but together they strip the HOAs of some of their favorite weapons: arbitrary fines, selective enforcement, and lifestyle micromanagement. This isn't chaos. This is death by 1,000 cuts, and it's intentional. And so this is exactly how people get burned. Not just by HOAs, but by the system itself, by systems that hide the fine print until it's too late. Now, let me give you a real world example, okay? So a guy needed an MRI. He did everything right. He checked his Medicare plan, confirmed that the scan was covered. What he didn't know, the facility fee was not covered. And that one little itty bitty detail turned into a bill of nearly $600 out of pocket after the appointment was already done. Now, this is how these traps work. They're not loud, they're not obvious, they're just quiet gaps that are buried in the paperwork. This is why I partner with Chapter. They walk you through your Medicare coverage before something goes wrong, for free, by the way, for free, so that you don't have to find out after the bill hits your mailbox. Now, most people, they're super smart, they're wise, they're taking action. Most people who are watching this show right now, they're already calling the phone number at the bottom of your screen right there, 909-563-8279, or they're going to askchapter.org/Ron to have someone double check their coverage for them. So when you call, make sure you tell my friends at Chapter that Ron says hello, because whether it's HOAs, taxes, insurance, or Medicare, the pattern is always the same. If you don't understand the rules, the system collects. Now, if you've ever dealt with an architectural review committee, you know exactly how this used to work. Your neighbor gets approved, you submit the same request, suddenly it doesn't fit the aesthetic. That game is over. And how is that even fair? They approved my neighbor, but they're not going to approve me? Is it because they don't like me? Like, what's up with that? Anyway, under this new law, ARCs must apply standards reasonably and equally. Precedent now matters. If something already exists in the neighborhood, the HOAs can't just change its mood and deny you out of spite or out of politics. So this is the key here. This is the key shift. HOAs must now cite specific CC&R provisions when denying a request. Not opinions, not some feelings, not the board decided, none of that nonsense. That single requirement changes everything. It forces discipline, it creates paper trails, and it gives homeowners something that they rarely had before, which is leverage. This is how power actually shifts, not with speeches, with enforceable limits. Now, this is where the conversation stops being theoretical and it starts making people nervous. Because in Tallahassee right now, lawmakers aren't arguing whether property tax relief is coming. That argument is over. The fight is about how far they're willing to go. Now, for years, property taxes in Florida quietly exploded, up nearly 60% in some areas in just 5 years. Homeowners paid more even when incomes didn't rise. And then even when services didn't improve. That was like a double slap in the face. This became a slow bleed that no one could opt out of. But now the language has changed. Guys, we're talking exemptions, caps, portability, entire categories of taxes that are suddenly under review. And once politicians openly admit that property taxes are unsustainable, the system enters dangerous territory because expectations reset. Homeowners start planning differently. Local governments start scrambling. And suddenly, what used to be unthinkable becomes negotiable. This is when the real shock proposals come out. And here it is, guys, the proposal that just made local officials sit up in their chairs. Ending non-school property taxes on homestead properties. Now let that sink in, guys. No county taxes, no city taxes, no fire district taxes, only school funding remains. Now for an average homeowner, that's thousands of dollars a year, instantly back in their pocket. Seniors on fixed income, protected. Working families, finally breathing room. But this is where friction explodes, because eliminating those taxes blows a massive hole in local government budgets. Billions of dollars statewide, and no one has a clean replacement plan yet. This is why this proposal matters, even if it doesn't even fully pass. Because once the nuclear option is on the table, everything else shifts around it. Partial cuts become reasonable, phased reductions gain momentum. The ceiling just got ripped off. So this is the part that nobody talks about, but it changes everything. Florida's Save Our Homes portability reform isn't flashy, but it is powerful. Now, for years, homeowners were punished for moving. You built tax protection over the time, and then you lost most of it the moment that you downsized, upsized, or relocated for family or for work. That trap is being dismantled. So by eliminating the cap on portability, Florida is saying, look, life changes should not trigger tax punishment. Seniors can downsize without fear. Families can move closer to jobs. Homeowners are not locked into one house just to preserve a tax benefit. Now, here's the real impact. Mobility breaks stagnation. So when people can move freely, inventory loosens, markets breathe, pressure eases. This reform doesn't eliminate taxes, it eliminates fear. And when fear disappears, behavior changes fast. This is why this change may end up reshaping Florida's housing market more than any headline-grabbing proposal. To understand why insurance reforms matter, you have to revisit how bad it got. And it got pretty bad, actually. So between 2021 and 2023, Florida's insurance market was on life support. Premiums exploded. Insurers left the state of Florida. Homeowners opened renewal letters with dread. Now, here's the statistic that nobody wanted to repeat out loud. Florida alone accounted for nearly 80% of the nation's insurance lawsuits. One freaking state. Why? A broken incentive structure. One-way attorney fees meant lawyers had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Lawsuits flooded the system. Insurers paid more in legal costs than claims. That's not a market failure. That's a rigged system. Trump warned us about that. You guys drop a Trump in the comments down below if you remember that President Trump warned us about rigged systems. Well, the result was predictable. Fewer insurers, higher prices, and homeowners got trapped. Florida didn't almost collapse by accident. It was pushed there. And what happened next explained why today's reforms are so controversial. Now, here's the part that drives people crazy. The reforms worked. They actually did. So once Florida eliminated one-way attorney fees, the lawsuit pipeline collapsed almost overnight. Claims slowed down, abuse dried up, and insurers who had been fleeing the state, they started coming on back. And that matters. Competition matters. When insurers return, prices stabilize. And for the first time in years, homeowners started seeing something unheard of in Florida insurance, renewals that did not spike. But now comes the danger. Some lawmakers are openly talking about reversing these reforms, bringing back one-way attorney fees, reopening the very loophole that nearly destroyed the entire market. Why? Because a broken system is profitable for a very small group, even if it crushes everyone else. Does that sound fair to you? This is the moment Florida homeowners need to stay alert. The fix isn't fragile, but it is not permanent either. If they undo these reforms, the chaos comes roaring back. Now let's talk about the proposal that sounds amazing and quietly destroys markets. Insurance rate caps. Now on paper, they feel compassionate. They limit increases, protect consumers, but history tells a brutally different story. California tried this. Governor Gavin Newsom, he tried to put this through multiple times. Well, Gavin Newsom's insurance market collapsed. Companies stopped writing policies. Coverage collapsed. Coverage evaporated. Florida lawmakers, they know this, which is exactly why even supporters admit that rate caps are risky. And the same goes for roof inspection reimbursement schemes. They're helpful in isolation, dangerous if misused. If insurers are forced into unworkable math, they don't stay and negotiate, they just leave, and we don't want that. And when insurers leave, homeowners don't get cheaper coverage, they get no coverage. And that's 1,000 times worse, trust me. Good intentions don't pay claims. Functional markets do, and this is the line that Florida is trying not to cross, balancing relief with detonating the system again. Now, this may be the most emotionally satisfying law Florida passed because it fixes something that was completely backwards. Now, for years, squatters could break into vacant homes, flash some fake paperwork, and force owners into months-long, very expensive, very costly eviction battles. Police couldn't act, courts dragged on, and homeowners paid the price. That ends here. Under Florida's anti-squatters law, actual squatters can now be removed within 24 hours. No court order, no drawn-out process, just enforcement. Can I get an amen to that? Okay? And the law draws a bright, necessary line. Tenants are still protected. Lease disputes still go through court. But criminals pretending to be tenants, they're out. Now, this matters deeply in a state full of second homes, vacation properties, and snowbird residences. Florida didn't blur the rules, it clarified them. Home ownership means home ownership again. Drop a 50 down below if you believe all 50 states need to employ this same new law that Florida has just implemented for anti-squatters, okay? Now, step back just for a moment because this is not just a Florida story. Across the whole country, people are rejecting systems that punish responsibility and reward bureaucracy. And under Donald J. Trump, that mood isn't subtle. Florida's homeowner revolt, it fits into something larger. It fits into a pushback against stacked rules, unelected enforcement, and the quiet erosion of ownership. You guys heard the phrase, you'll own nothing and be happy? Well, let me tell you what, that mindset did not land here. It just got challenged. HOAs got checked, property taxes just got questioned, insurance abuse got exposed, and the most important part, these changes didn't come from speeches. They came from pressure. They came from people who stopped accepting that's just how it is, because that ain't how it needs to be going forward. This story is not over, guys, and the direction is very clear. And if you're a homeowner paying attention, you're no longer on defense. If you appreciate the video, drop a like for the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. I'll catch you next time.